Sonic has undergone many changes over the years, but ironically all Sega had to do to make him relevant again was go back to his roots with Sonic Mania. Now, Sonic Mania is a celebration of everything you loved about the Hedgehog during the all-important 16-bit era, and the most recent DLC pack rounds out and complements an already sensational package. A DLC, by the way, that was never originally meant to happen. With this, Sega really did hedgehog their bets. The Sonic Mania originally featured the trio of Sonic, Tails and Knuckles in familiar and new zones as you once again tried to thwart the dastardly plans of Dr. Robotnik, Eggman. The characters had old and familiar traits as well, such as Tails being able to fly and Knuckles climb, but also added the new drop dash ability for Sonic, which enabled him to access new secrets. Sonic Mania Plus adds to that even further with the inclusion of Mighty the Armadillo and Rey the Flying Squirrel. Two highly requested additions to the game. Why? Because of their relevance to the Sonic verse. See, Mighty was actually an original concept for Sonic before Sega finally decided upon the Hedgehog, but the character was so well-rounded that it would later become a series regular. Before Mania, Mighty originally appeared in Sega Sonic the Hedgehog the arcade game, then featured in Sonic Generations, Knuckles Chaotix, and even the comic book series. Mighty has fantastic defensive abilities due to his hard armadillo shell, which can actually protect him from some enemy attacks and even spikes. He also has a devastating ground pound hammer drop, which turns him into a missile-esque projectile that slams down into his opponents. Mighty certainly makes some of the tougher levels much more manageable in Sonic Mania. But Rey the Flying Squirrel also offers a new way to play. So if Mighty makes things perhaps a little bit easier, it could be argued that Rey makes them slightly tougher. Similar to Knuckles and Tails, Rey can sail through the air using an air glide, but you can actually change the direction by using the D-pad. So you could opt to sail straight back down with a nosedive after a jump, or try to keep your elevation by holding back, almost parachuting to the ground. Inevitably, this means he will reach greater heights than any other character in the game. Rey, meanwhile, has had less of a presence in the Sonicverse. He did pop up in Sonic Generations and the comics, and of course he was one of the 3 characters in the Sega Sonic the Hedgehog arcade game, but his arrival in Mania is certainly more of a surprise. Both characters offer significant tactical changes to the game and bring something different which merits at least a second playthrough, but adding the Encore mode gives you something else entirely to sink your teeth into. You could think of Encore mode as Sonic Mania remixed. The aesthetic changes in different levels, the levels have been tweaked and in some cases redesigned to suit the new character's abilities, there are new secrets, and perhaps most excitingly, the ability to tag between allies. So you could actually have a dream fighting machine of Knuckles and Mighty, or you could compare aerial hang time between Tails and Rey. Encore mode starts you off with Sonic on Angel Island and tasks you with busting Rey and Mighty out of one of Eggman's animal capturing machines. Once you do, you have to make a choice of tag team partner to bring along with you at any one time. The good news though is that you'll eventually be able to have both Rey and Mighty in your team, and this is done by smashing a special box during the game. Grabbing the box adds members to your team over time so that when one of you dies, another will replace you automatically. That means one death doesn't actually signify the loss of an entire life. It really is a simple addition to Sonic Mania, but arguably it is the most essential inclusion into any Sonic game in over 20 years. Encore mode also looks different, with Green Hill Zone now set at night and Chemical Zone having a much more bitter, menacing appearance, but there's also brand new bonus stages, including a pinball table that harkens back to the good old days of Sonic Spinball. What I wouldn't give for a new take on that on Switch. Speaking of Switch, never did I expect to say that Sega's infamous mascot runs best on a Nintendo platform, because it does. Handheld, Sonic Mania Plus is just delightful and arguably the best way to experience the game. It is so smooth and slick with all the high speed and drama you've come to know and love from Sonic. And as if that's not enough for the £4 price tag. No, seriously, £4. Competition mode now supports 4-player split screen, which is just so suited to Joy-Con on the go, it's not even funny. Whenever you're doing time trials, races, whatever, it's a blast. Sonic Mania was already a great game when it launched last year, so it's hard to believe Sega not only made it better, but did so with content that could have stayed on the cutting room floor. The only reason we have Plus is because of the overwhelming demand for a physical release, and Sega needed to fill out the package with more content because of the original price tag. Crazy to think. Sonic Mania Plus is a perfect example of how the best DLC is made. Not only is it cheap, it fundamentally changes the way the game is played, offers up the potential for multiple playthroughs, providing lastability with broad multiplayer possibilities. Sonic Mania was already a must-play, plus makes it essential. To summarise, on the pro side, Rey and Mighty add exciting new ways to play, the Encore mode is such a smart reimagining of Sonic Mania, there's a bargain price point of £4, still can't get over that. Multiplayer is bigger and better, and it runs like a dream on Switch in handheld mode, it's so slick, I love it. On the cons though, it is a tough challenge for some, so it may be a bit off-putting, but really it's a minor criticism. But we have decided to give Sonic Mania Plus a fantastic 9.5 out of 10, and if you hadn't guessed already, we tested this on a Nintendo Switch. Thanks very much for watching, don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe. If you've played Sonic Mania Plus, let us know in the comment section if you've got any hints and tips and strategies on ways to get past some of the levels. What's your preferred character to play? What's your preferred team in Encore mode? What's your favourite part about Sonic Mania Plus? Or if you hate these games, just let us know down below, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, see you next time.